people who suffer from a mental disorder may experience symptoms of depression. The symptoms of depression can vary from person to person. However, one common symptom is feeling sad or blue. This may lead to people feeling lonely and wanting to isolate themselves. In that case, people might need psychologists. Clinical psychologists are people who specialize in treating people with depression. They help people with depression learn about their condition and develop coping strategies for dealing with it. There are many popular clinical psychologists nowadays, such as Albert Bandura, Philip Zimbardo, Elizabeth Loftus, and Jordan Peterson. In this video, we will take a look at the history of one of the clinical psychologists, Jordan Peterson. Jordan Byrne Peterson was born in Edmonton, Canada, on June 12, 1962. He is a media personality, clinical psychologist, author, and professor emeritus at the University of Toronto. After graduating from Fairview High School in 1979, Peterson attended Grand Prairie Regional College, majoring in political science and English literature, and trained as a corporate lawyer. He then transferred to the University of Alberta, where he earned a BA in political science in 1982 and a BA in psychology in 1984. He received his doctorate in clinical psychology in 1991 and remained at McGill's Douglas Hospital as a postdoctoral fellow until June 1993. Peterson married Tammy Roberts in 1989 and has a daughter named Michaela and a son named Julian. From July 1993 to June 1998, Peterson lived in Arlington, Massachusetts, where he taught and conducted research at Harvard University. At Harvard University, he was an assistant professor in the Department of Psychology and later became an associate professor. In 1998, he returned to Canada and took a full-time job in the Department of Psychology at the University of Toronto. In 1999, he published his first book, Maps of Meaning: The Architecture of Belief. Peterson appeared on television, speaking on topics from a psychological perspective in 2003. In 2005, Peterson, along with colleagues Daniel M. Higgins and Robert O. Pill, founded a website and company that offers an evolving writing therapy system called the Self-Authoring Suite. In 2016, Peterson became an honorary member of the extended family of Charles Joseph, Kwakwaka'wakwa artist. His name is Alestalagi, which means great seeker. In March 2016, Peterson announced to do a new experiment in crowdfunding via Patreon. As of early 2017, funding for projects using Patreon has increased dramatically. Peterson hired a production team to film his 2017 psychology class at the University of Toronto. With this funding, many projects and series of lectures were proposed. More interviews, regular live Q&A sessions, public Bible lecture series, conversations with Muslims in Canada and the United States, and in online universities. Peterson remained in clinical practice for most of his career. Peterson also has appeared on many podcasts, talk shows, and other online shows. In 2018, Kelifasane wrote in The New Yorker that Peterson is now one of the most influential and polarizing public intellectuals in the English-speaking world. In 2020, Peterson sought an emergency detox from benzodiazepine addiction. In January 2020, he flew to Moscow, Russia for treatment. Russian doctors diagnosed Peterson with pneumonia in both lungs upon arrival. A few months after receiving treatment in Russia, Peterson and his family moved to Belgrade, Serbia. Peterson's lectures and talks, distributed primarily on YouTube and podcasts, quickly racked up millions of views. Although sometimes he got involved in several controversies, Jordan Peterson is still a renowned Canadian clinical psychologist. Psychologist is indeed needed in clinical settings. Clinical psychologists assess, diagnose, and treat mental, emotional, and behavioral disorders. They work in hospitals, mental health centers, private practice, and other settings, and they often specialize in certain areas, such as child, adolescent, or geriatric psychology. You might find clinical psychologists working with people who have mental health issues and personality disorders. These practitioners also work with families, couples, and groups to help them cope with personal issues. So what do you think about Jordan Peterson, a clinical psychologist? Let us know your opinions in the comments below. Don't forget to give us thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to our channel if you want to know more about famous stars in action. Thanks for watching.